Hello, today I'm talking to Honey and the Bear about their new single, United We'll Stay. We'll also talk about their virtual gigs on the internet and whether or not lockdown helps or hinders the creative process. So let's start talking about the single. It's fairly obvious where the inspiration came from, but how easy was it to write?
I think it was quite a free-flowing writing exercise, that one, and
it was more like a narration, wasn't it?
Yeah, we're sort of thinking about sort of periods throughout history where folk musicians have maybe sort of embodied and represented events as they've unfolded, and we thought, well, that's sort of quite a sort of an apt way of looking at the current situation. Is that for various people they're affected in different ways, but the thing that affects everybody is this sense of the world over that we're in lockdown, and that that we need to pull together. We need the biggest call is on people to it's not people battling against each other, it's people battling against a
common
virus,
invisible enemy.
Yeah, it was quite a quick writing process. I think we enjoyed pulling together the sort of the tune and melody part of the song.
Yeah, this was the first time I'd ever written a tune as such on the mandolin, because I haven't had the mandolin for long, so it was quite fun for me to try and do that as well. Yeah. Although that took a little bit longer to write than it took you to do the lyrics, actually, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
That was the last piece of the puzzle.
And then, of course, John went and dumped you in it, Lucy, when during one of your live gigs streamed on a Sunday night, he decided that you were going to play it.
Yeah, he's lovely like that. He likes shoving me in the deep end. Yeah, that made me very, very nervous. But I pulled it off, I think. I probably made a few mistakes, but nobody knew.
Yeah, it's very relaxed on the live stream.
That's the joy of writing your own music. Like, no one knows if you've gone wrong, technically.
Yeah.
Unless it sounds really awful.
And our live streams every Sunday are just quite a relaxed affair anyway. So I think it does. We know the audience. There's an audience there. Kelly, our wonderful hostess, lets us know who's with us. But because we're in our own living room, it seems to be bizarre to sort of approach it in exactly the same way as you'd be approaching a sort of a gig in a theatre or in on a stage somewhere. It just seems to be a lot more. We're hopefully welcoming people into our living room as well, and
it's very laid back, isn't it? I think probably we'd do more talking in between. More talking than singing, actually.
Yeah, and then it was really bizarre last Sunday because there's some people actually listening outside, which we just did not expect there to be anybody, because it's obviously most places are totally sort of deserted, especially at 7:30 on a Sunday evening. So for some people to be walking past and when a song finished, we heard Kelly clapping, and then we heard some clapping. We're going, is that coming through a speaker? Where's that coming from? There's some sound coming from somewhere. This is most unusual. So like everything in lockdown, I think people over the last 5-6 weeks, we've got a bit more used to the process. It's not great. We don't, we want to be able to get out and to see people and to do things. But there's ways in which we can still reach each other and communicate and hopefully offer some kind of interaction that's of interest, of entertainment, of a bit of comfort as well. And it certainly gives us a real focus every Sunday doing the live stream, doesn't it?
I think that's actually the thing I miss the most about this lockdown, that like the part of gigging, which is almost the best part, is meeting new people and hearing their stories and just making connections. And Facebook is kind of almost giving us that, but in a obviously virtual way.
Yeah.
It would be nice to perhaps meet some of the people who we've been reaching on a Sunday night after this is all over and actually saying, oh, so that's you. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
So do you still get, I don't know whether you get stage fright or nerves before a real gig. Do you suffer the same? Well, you're nodding there, Lucy. I can tell. Is it the same with the virtual gigs?
Yeah, it's a slower connection, because we realised that we couldn't. If you have when we've seen people doing live stream gigs before, it does help to have a producer there, somebody that's just like, you know, glued to the comments, keeping an eye, and they act as the interpreter. And I think it was a Woods Brothers like live stream in America we saw, and it was this, you know, this sort of this is a few years ago now. We sort of thought, oh, that's a lovely way in which they're actually able to sort of, you know, react with the crowd. It's almost like somebody's acting vicariously as the representative of the audience, and so that you can just actually you know, sort of focus on the songs and focus on but not worrying on whether the tech's working. You know, it's the same as...
Yeah, I do get really nervous when we try out the new songs, particularly. That's probably the point. For all the other songs, it's like, oh, we've done this like 100 times already, it's fine. But yeah, the new songs definitely fill me with dread.
Yeah, they're not embedded in your conscience. You know, it's it's like you know, when you're getting back in the car again, if you've been in lockdown for 6 days, you haven't been to the supermarket, and you suddenly get in the car to go to the supermarket again. The first week we were just like, oh, hang on, how do you drive the car?
To be honest though, we're probably playing more music now on a weekly basis than we ever have over the past 6 years we've been together, because
you don't have a day job to get in the way, do you?
Well, yeah, I mean, John, I do. Mine's continuing as normal. John doesn't have a day job to get in the way, but with people like requesting things
furloughed.
as well.
Self-furlouged.
Self-furloughed.
Yeah. The entertainment industry, there's no sound to be doing at the moment. But you say that, but I mean, there's periods where we've gone in the middle of festival season or in the middle of a tour, where you are out every day playing a gig. We're playing a gig once every week. So I think it's just we have, you know, you come out of January. Nothing really happens in the music industry in January. It's just getting ready for their tours and getting ready for the next stage. Whereas you know, this obviously hit the music industry really hard. Everybody being sidelined and not being able to tour right at the point of which everything was going to start happening, and then the festivals have all been cancelled, which is the next stage. So I really feel for everybody involved, because it means that you know, just at the point where they were waiting for their years to kick off, it's, you know, it's being pulled from underneath them. So the timing is of the whole situation is really unfortunate for my fellow sound engineers and lighting people and producers, advertisers, festival organisers.
Well, just everybody, really, isn't it? and the fans as well, who are looking forward to going to these gigs.
Yeah.
But has the enforced weird living that we're doing at the moment, has that helped or hindered the creative process?
I think it's helped a little bit. Because
it's helped all the musicians we've spoken to as well. The musicians that worked with us on the single, Archie Churchill Moss, for example. Archie's down in Bristol. You know, this hugely talented melodeon player that plays with Sam Kelly and the Lost Boys, and also plays with False Lights. And you know, Archie and Tom Moore have got their duo as well. He's very busy in so many different projects. But Archie was just sort of saying, well, yeah, it's actually pretty good. You know, you can actually just, a lot of musicians are quite adaptive, and if they go into gigging season and the gigs aren't happening, they'll, you know, can just turn back into the writing.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be a lot of albums coming out on the back of lockdown. Basically, there's going to be a lot of you're going to be flooded, Tony, at Grapevine with you know, sort of boxes of new material that people have been recording.
I think from our perspective though, because we've said to our live stream watchers, we're going to try and do a new song for you every week that we've written. It's kind of put the pressure on us a little bit. Well, we've put the pressure on ourselves to keep writing, haven't we?
Yeah,
and like good. We show everyone our list this week. We've got about 18, 19 songs in the cooker at the moment, but they're still sort of browning, aren't they? And
some of the ingredients aren't quite decided upon.
We're drifting away from the single, which, as I say, its inspiration is fairly obvious. You say it came together quickly, and then you managed to get, as you say, you've got Archie, Graham, Evan and Toby on board.
Yeah.
How easy was that to make happen with the technology? And with your sound engineer's hat on, are you happy with the quality of the end result?
Yes, really happy. It was a process that was quite new for a few of the guys. I think Graham, as a studio engineer up in Edinburgh, he is quite used to recording his cello parts for people and sending them off to them. But it's the translation bit, when we'd recorded with the same musicians for our Made in the Acre album, we wanted to keep the process pretty much the same. So that made it easier. So we knew how to sort of go about, sort of starting the process from a solid time base to make sure everything's in time with each other is sort of critical. So Evan's part was recorded, we sort of gave Evan some guide parts and he recorded his part first. And sent back many layers of percussion and sort of and bits and pieces, which he knows that we really love. So he was able to go, well, this is what you really loved before. I'm going to give you the same sort of things, but with a solid kick drum feel in it. And so, okay, that's great. And he sent that back, and then we recorded again to Evan, so that the next person had like a solid foundation with us and Evan together, and the guys added their parts remotely and sent them back over. But it's still required a couple of phone calls just to make sure that and emails just to make sure that everything was being represented as they had intended as well, and which was really important. But all the Lost Boys have got such discerning ears for their own instruments and for the mix of instruments. They're all hugely talented musical brains anyway, so yeah, it was really easy just with their feedback to be able to pull it together as we wanted it to sound.
And of course, the artwork for the single is very much similar to Made in the Acre. I wonder why that is.
There's a feeling of continuum there, isn't there?
Yeah.
The art department here at Honey and the Bear and artistic design department have got some very strong views on running themes and so
we've been doing a lot of walks recently around, because we're very lucky. We live in the countryside and we've got lots of footpaths on our doorstep. So we've been doing lots of walk on our daily exercise a lot of the time. But we've been seeing the deer all the time. Yeah. And John always says that the deer is your spirit animal. You always say that, don't you? So we feel quite connected to the deers.
Yeah, there's a herd of the deer. There's one fella in there with his, there's the stag. He's got his big set of antler out here. They're really impressive creatures, beautiful creatures. And
we always have a joke though that they obviously haven't got the message about social distancing.
Yeah, they haven't got it. Like if you ever see sheep in a meadow, they clearly haven't got any concept of social distancing. And lucky for them, they don't have to as well.
Nature continues as normal, doesn't it?
Yeah. Which is a wonderful thing. So so the deer are very much symbolic of nature in lockdown, and then with the face masks for them, just that sort of hint of what's going on.
A little amusing touch.
Without hesitation, there's great complication. Nobody knows. They must stay apart just as hard as it seems. As much as it hurts, we can wait for our dreams. We have to lock down at home, we remain. We're in this together, united we'll stay. much as it hurts, we can wait for our dreams. We have to lock down, at home we'll remain. We're in this together, united we'll stay. We must stay apart just as hard as it seems. As much as it hurts, we can wait for our dreams. We have to lock down, at home we'll remain. We're in this together, united we'll stay. 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 United we'll stay.